Well, the National Economic Summit Group, as you might have seen in the news, and also yesterday, if you've been listening, they started talking about so many things: agriculture, fuel subsidy, how they need to position the economy, the external reserves, the budget allocation, some of these things. Well, a report was put together, and so we'll just a type of summary, if you will, of some of the things that were highlighted. We'll take a look at it, and we'll shed some light, possibly, with it after this.
For joining us as well. Thank you. And lastly,
the interactive session was as interesting as expected. The Vice President, Namadi Sambo, spoke to the audience about progress made in infrastructural development. The Minister for the Economy and Minister of Finance, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, on her part, believes that gains recorded by government is mainly as a result of macroeconomic stability as well as fiscal discipline.
Now we are addressing agriculture as a business. And we are taking all the value chains of agricultural production, and we believe in this direction we will address the issue and improve our agricultural production. Then also the infrastructure. We want to create a situation where agriculture will be throughout the year, as against what we have today, only during the rainy season.
We have brought a measure as a government of macroeconomic stability, and that is because we've also introduced a measure of fiscal discipline that was better than what was there. As a result of that, if you talk to the governor of the central bank with whom I work, the fact that reserves are climbing now is not a miracle. It happens because of greater proper fiscal management. We now have about 9 billion in the excess crude account. Of course, we'll use some of it for paying some of the oil subsidies, but we've managed to save that. Last year, it was 4 billion. We are now at more than double. We also have the Sovereign Wealth Fund, as you said.
While the two government officials are upbeat about the strides achieved by government, potential investors in the economy have their fears bordering on security, corruption, and the ease of doing business. Some others are mindful of the necessary laws that need to be implemented that will make doing business in the country more transparent.
We think there are some laws we need to look at. The titling law, the Land Use Act, for instance, in Nigeria, the titling laws, the foreclosure laws. People blame banks that the banks don't lend. But we have so much land in this country that is not monetized because of certain laws we have. So we need to deal with some of these issues because they can truly change things very significantly for the country.
Areas of concern that new investors invariably focus on. Those three areas are security, corruption, and the ease of doing business. So, putting aside infrastructure, those three issues, security, we know around us what's happening, but the impact of that, I think, has yet to be seen. The ease of doing business, the kind of regulatory issues that we talk about, the multiplicity of different agencies.
The oil sector, Nigeria's cash cow, is also a contentious issue. Here again, government is taken to the task on issues bordering on scam in subsidy program, the petroleum industry bill, as well as the contentious issue of deregulation.
Any good economist will surely accept that the answer for our faster growth and realistic growth in that sector is to deregulate it. And so therefore, that is a policy that as an administration we believe in.
We have done thorough forensic work. It has yielded changes in the way that we verify payments, slowed it down. It's painful, but we've done it. We have found out how many of such claims or how much is fraudulent. We have clawed back some of the money now, about 29 billion. We're prosecuting some of the people, and we've continued to pay marketers whose claims have been verified. We have never stopped paying because, all this issue about, queues and so on. Of course, sometimes the marketers have said, unless you pay us, we are not going to bring in oil. But we have not yielded to any of that kind of stress or even blackmail or threats. We've continued to do our work, and we will continue to pay those who are clean.
The Nigerian Economic Summit, which has held for the past 17 years, is the largest national gathering for discussions on economic issues and is jointly organized by the federal government, represented by the Ministry of National Planning, and the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, representing the private sector.
Okay, then, well, we'll focus on some of those issues they've highlighted in the report. And Dr. Austin Nweze joins us via phone in Lagos. He's an economist. Morning, and thank you for joining us, Dr. Nweze. Well, from some of these matters that have been raised, perhaps we should start by asking you, what would you rather have them focus on as this NESG summit holds?
Well, I haven't been able to see since 17 years of or thereabout of the summit group. I haven't seen any clear national strategy on how to take the economy, how Nigeria can be competitive in the global marketplace. I haven't seen any clear strategy. There has to be a clear strategy on how Nigeria should compete. Now, you find that, again, Nigeria is about, Nigeria's economy dominates the West African economy, close to over 70%. Now, we need a strategy on how to really dominate the economy so that even the currency can, easily be used, not as some of, official currency in the West Coast. I haven't seen a strategy. And I want them to come out of this summit with a clear strategy and say, okay, 2-3 areas where Nigeria can compete. Now, we have seen other countries who are surrounded by other big giants and all that, and how they have been able to come out with a clear strategy on how they want to compete. So we can focus on, education today. Qatar, for instance, their own strategy is to be the best country in education, all forms of education, any kind of education you want, come to Qatar. Dubai, United Arab Emirates, is for tourism and all that. We want a clear strategy on how Nigeria can compete. And these 3 areas that Nigeria can compete. Because Nigeria has more arable land than even Thailand that produces rice. So I want a clear strategy on three areas by putting fuel infrastructure in place. There's no way we can compete if the power sector is not working. There's no way we can compete if the educational system is not working. So we need to begin to focus mainly on education, to produce professionals, so that they will begin to, even so, mariners, seafarers, and pick it up. And Nigeria can compete. We pick other areas, even in outsourcing. Outsourcing is one area that Nigeria can leapfrog. And it's one area that we should pay attention to. India used outsourcing to grow.